of all the heat that has been generated by the bill proposed by Senator Ted Cruz of Texas in the U.S. Senate to designate Nigeria as a country of particular concern, the reaction of the leader of all Muslims in Nigeria is what has caught my attention, and I'm addressing that in this particular video. So let's go. Here is the leader of all Muslims in Nigeria, Sultan. The Sultan of Sokoto is the leader of all Muslims in Nigeria. Now, some people might want to debate that, so I'll leave that till later in the video when I come to show that that is the case. He is the leader of all Muslims in Nigeria. So, but this is what he has to say. There is no genocide, no Christian genocide in the north, referring to northern Nigeria. I find it very, very interesting that when Christians say there is genocide, it is Muslim. It's a Muslim that is going to say, no, there is no genocide of Christians. Are you a Christian? You're not a Christian. What's your business? But you know, I know what your business is. Because the genocide is being perpetrated by Muslims. And so we find so many Muslims scampering and running around and saying, no, there's no genocide of Christians in Nigeria. Anyway, people that understand, people that have been monitoring the issue. Of course, Senator Cruz himself, I've watched him for years now. He's a very smart guy. So he knows that reading these kind of things don't mean anything at all. See, he understands. So I'm going to bypass that. But let me go to the body of this article. Notice that the article is published in Nigerian Vanguard. This is Vanguard newspaper in Nigeria. Okay, so let's go to read the thing. It's by Vanguard. And I think I need to show that it is by Vanguard because it is not showing clearly on the screen. It's not showing clearly on the screen. So here is it. You can see that it is Vanguard newspaper. So let me just continue to read. Benin Kebbi. Benin Kebbi is the capital of Kebbi State. So there was a meeting of the rulers, traditional rulers. I'm going to talk about that later. Traditional rulers in the north. So the Sultan of Sokoto and chairman of the Northern Traditional Council. Notice this. Northern Traditional Council. Traditional Rulers Council. Okay. This is by Vanguard. Vanguard is one of the leading, according to its name, is one of the newspapers at the vanguard of news reporting in Nigeria. And yet they're referring to this man who is the leader of all Muslims. But in order to protect certain things, they are not referring to that title. They're not using that title to refer to him here. They're using the title of chairman of the Northern Traditional Councils, Northern Traditional Rulers Councils. Have you seen that? That is deception. The man is actually the leader of all Muslims in Nigeria. But Vanguard knows that, don't they? Of course they do. They know. But as a leftist woke ideology, as one of the mainstream media in Nigeria, they have to cover for Islam. They're not going to mention Islam here. But I'm going to expose all that. So let's just go on. Having shown that this is Vanguard, let me show my face again. So his name is Alhaji Saad Abubakar III. He has dismissed claims of an ongoing genocide against Christians in northern Nigeria, describing such allegations as false and divisive. Divisive, dividing who and who. But let's go. The monarch. Listen to this again. The monarch. I'm going to come back to that to talk about it. They have referred to him as the chairman of the Northern Traditional Rulers Council. But it's not just that. That is a political title. The real title of Sultan, the real function of Sultan is the head, the leader of Muslims in Nigeria. That is who he is. But they're trying to cover that. So he said Christians and Muslims have coexisted peacefully for centuries in the north, adding that reports suggesting otherwise deliberate attempts to create tension and disunity among the people. From time immemorial, look at it, they have coexisted peacefully. Yes, Islam is a religion of peace. So Christians and Muslims have coexisted peacefully. They have coexisted peacefully. From the time immemorial, Christians and Muslims have lived as brothers in the north. These allegations are false and are merely aimed at sowing discord among the inseparable faithful. Oh wow, it's true, they are inseparable, because there's no way you can separate Christianity from Islam. Once you do that, Islam will fall apart, Islam will die. Islam cannot stand on its own leg. It cannot exist without Christianity. That's what some people don't realize. Islam is actually a creation to counter Christianity. That's what it is. It is not a religion. It's a movement to fight against Christians and Jews. And once there are no longer Christians and Jews, Islam is going to die. And he knows that. So he said people should they should not do anything to undermine the oneness. They are inseparable. They are inseparable, according to him. Speaking at a meeting of the Northern Traditional Rulers Council held in Birnin Kebbi State, the Sultan commended all that rubbish, commended Nigerian army. Okay, I'm going to skip that. So, but where I'm going is this. he said something very, very interesting, and here is it. So let me underline. Let me highlight this. He also expressed concern over the reckless use of social media, urging the federal government to take steps to regulate its use. This is the leader of Muslims calling the federal government to clamp down on people using social media. Why? Because it's exposing Islam. A lot of things that we now know, that people in the Western world now know about Nigeria, those things have come to be known through the social media, through the internet. Decades ago, nobody would know all these things. But now, all the videos circulating in Nigeria, all the pictures of genocide circulating can be sent around the world within a second. In fact, less than a second. And he knows that. And they want to stop that. So he's calling on the federal government to clamp down on the use of social media in Nigeria. Imagine that. He revealed that he had personally been a victim of misinformation circulated online. What's our business with that? Deal with that. Deal with that. How in the world has he been a victim of misinformation? How? Okay, you've been a victim of misinformation. This one you're doing now, what is it? This denial of genocide, what is it? Are you not using, you're making use of social media, you're making use of the internet to spread misinformation, to deny the obvious, and yet you are calling the federal government to clamp down on other people using the same medium. That is what Islam does. And I find this very, very interesting. But before I close this rather short video, I said I was going to prove that he is the leader, that this man is the leader of Muslims in Nigeria. So do me a favor, head to either Google or Bing or any search engine, or you can even use your Meta AI and look for the leader of Muslims in Nigeria. Just type that, the leader of Muslims in Nigeria, and let's see what is going to return. So I'll be doing that also. Just a minute. So leader of Muslims in Nigeria, or look for the chairman of Muslim Council of Nigeria, something like that. And so when I did that, here is the outcome. Have you seen that? Let me make it more, I'll put it more on the screen so you can see. Now here is my search. Who is the chairman of the Muslim Council of Nigeria? And here is what was returned. His Eminence, who? Alhaji Muhammad Saad Abubakar. His Eminence Alhaji Muhammad Saad Abubakar is the Sultan of Sokoto. Wow. Can you see that? He is the Sultan of Sokoto and President General of the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs. The Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs is headed by Sultan of Sokoto. Not just Muhammad Abubakar or Saad Abubakar, whatever. No, anybody who is the Sultan at any time is also the head of Nigerian Muslims any time. Have you seen that? This is the man calling for banning or at least restricting people's freedom on the internet. Restricting people's freedom on social media. Why? Because social media is what is going to spell the death of Islam. Internet is what is going to cause Islam to crash. And you're going to see it. And they don't want it to happen. They don't want it to happen. Imagine that the leader of Muslims, the head of the Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs in Nigeria, is actually scared of the internet. He's scared of social media. And he's calling, he's pleading, please, say, federal government, save Islam, save Islam. Restrict these people, restrict these Christians. They're talking to Senator Cruz. They're talking to US Senate. They're talking to the West. Imagine that. I saw that and I felt that I should just say a word about it. If you found this video very interesting, please like it and comment. Drop your comment. Share also and subscribe if you have not done so. Together, we can shine the light and we can fight evil and we can preserve righteousness in the land. Thank you. God bless you. Catch you in the next video.